पसियो मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय तनो हरिः। ओके
साड़ी के फॉल सा कभी मैच किया रे, कभी छोड़ दिया दिल, कभी कैच किया रे। साड़ी के फॉल सा कभी मैच किया रे, कभी छोड़ दिया दिल, कभी कैच किया रे। टच करके टच करके टच करके टच करके कहाँ चल दी बच करके टच करके टच करके टच करके दिल से दिल अटैच किया रे। कभी छोड़ दिया दिल, कभी कैच किया रे। साड़ी के फॉल सा कभी मैच किया रे, कभी छोड़ दिया दिल, कभी कैच किया रे।
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention to the front of the stage, everybody? I'd like to first start by introducing the host for tonight. That would be me. I'm Suraj, you call me Spy. I'm Heeru's brother, and our beautiful co-host over here is Sharmila, who is Raja's sister.
Good evening, everyone. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you the hosts of this evening, the parents.
It's a beautiful night, we're looking for something dumb to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna marry you. Is it the look in your eyes, or is it this dancing juice? Who cares baby, I think I wanna marry you. Well, I know this little chapel on the boulevard we can go. No one will know. Oh come on girl, who cares if we're trash? Got a pocket full of cash we can blow. Shots of Patrol, and it's on girl. Don't say no, 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 no. Just say yeah, 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 yeah. And we'll go, 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 go. If you're ready, like I'm ready. 'Cause it's a beautiful night, we're looking for something dumb to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna marry you. Is it the look in sugar? Oh honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Honey, oh sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe the wonder of this feeling too.
Ladies and gentlemen, as they top the cake, would you like to give a fresh toast to the newlywed couple?
Honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Oh honey, oh
make this wedding a success, which it has been, I'd like to call upon Rajesh's and my dad, Mr. Kishore Melvani.
Today has been my very first day to de-stress myself. It's taken me a few months to organize this function, working with Nisha and Prem, and I can say with great pleasure that I'm now at ease. But before I start, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends and colleagues of Rajesh, thank you to all of you for joining the Melvani and Krishnani families to celebrate Rajesh's wedding in these turbulent times in Bangkok. There are numerous relatives here today from India, Philippines, and Prakash and Nisha from London, and of course, many of our relatives and friends from Melbourne. There are too many of them for me to mention by name. I have caught up with friends and colleagues of Rajesh from Hong Kong and Singapore. And of course, once again, I thank you all of you for making this long trek to get into Bangkok in these hard times. Any wedding requires a lot of assistance, a lot of help from many people, right? And I don't want to mention names who helped us, but there are two remarkable relatives among the crowd here, who are from India, and who helped us so much. And it was a constant to and fro of emails, WhatsApp, and you say what you want. And the people from India would say, don't worry, it'll happen. And a lot of things would happen on the last day. And it was always be hard to know whether it would really happen. So I'm going to name just two people who are not aware who they are, but I will ask them to stand up and thank them for all that they have done. The two who are, one is Taruna, she around here. And at one stage, Taruna said, I give up. That's it. I'm not going to do it anymore. But she never gave up. To the point that she had to bring a few things and she brought it by hand herself, by air. And the other person would always say, look, it's bloody hard, but I'll get it done. And I would say, but it's not done. He said, don't worry, man, it'll be all done. And it was done, always done on the last day. And that person is Gopal. Of course, I can't do all the things alone. I have my beloved wife who sits there in the green sari, as you all know. And she, in a way, coordinated this function remotely from Melbourne. Most of you know my son Rajesh as Raj, the king. But in Melbourne, where he hails from, he's known as Rajesh. And in this speech, I will always refer to him as Rajesh, because that was his Chakti name, so as to say. He won't be named as Rajesh. But in Singapore and Hong Kong, he's still Raj. A little bit about Rajesh as a youth, which I suppose I'm well qualified to say a few words. He was, from his very young days, very focused on doing his thing, doing things his way. And after a while, it got to the extent that he had to be reminded that he wouldn't listen to anybody, he always wanted to do things way, and he had a bit of a brass placard, so as to say, embroidered and say, don't worry about others, and something to the effect, don't worry about others, do what you like best. And that, of course, was a little bit painful to us as parents, because whenever we used to advise something, he would say, don't worry, Mom and Dad, I'll do it my way. And sure enough, he did it all his way. And he's still doing it his way, even to the extent of getting a partner in his life. He had a habit of studying very late nights. In other words, he starts studying at about 2 a.m. in the morning, and he worked right through till morning. 6 6, 8 to 8 a.m. And I thought this was a bit unusual because I did my studies too, but I was always sure that I at least slept at 1 a.m. But I found that he carried out that trend when he started to work in his job, and when he worked at the Macquarie Bank. I understand that he never got into the bank till about 10 or 11 a.m. And for him, it was standard, but for him, it was something he wanted to change. And I don't know if his colleagues are here from Thomson Reuters, but that's what he still does. You know, he gets into work at about 10, 11 and gets back home at 7, 8. And I'm wondering whether he will persist with that trend, and now that he's married, whether things will change. But if not, it better change. He was a good student, I must say. He was a good student. I mean, a very good student, I would say. And there was a time that he had a big tussle with his mom, who was medically oriented, and he had the option of going in for dentistry or to go in for IT. And of course, Rajesh won. Knowing his ways and means, he would say, hang on, I'm not going to look at all mouse from here. I'm going to go into IT. And that's what he did. Much to mom's unhappiness, he got into doing IT. So Rajesh's main focus on life next to his career has been to cultivate friendships. I don't know how many friends he got. I don't even know he's in the count. But it was getting a bit hard because to the point he had so many friends that he'd been away from home for 10 years, and he would come home after 10 years and he would say, hang on, stay with us and have a conversation. But that never happened. He would always be out with his friends. And there were times when all he would do was, come into sleep and then bang, I'm going to see my friend. But of course, things have changed in the last few years. Now that Rajesh has got a nephew and a niece, he spends a lot of time with his nephew and niece. That's Shamira's 2 kids. And I think, if I'm not wrong, that's one of the reasons that triggered him to settle down. Much to our good. He's been a very good son, very obliging, and for me, quite helpful in doing work at home, like, we used to do a lot of repairs and, power tools and all that. And I think I have the credit of exposing him to a lot of those power tools. But the only weak point is that he never did things himself. He had always got to be asked, right? And sometimes it had to be by appointment. You say, I got to go there, I'll get a bit of work at 5 to 6. But that's what Rajesh is, and I think that's how he works in his career too. As parents, we always hope that Rajesh will settle down as soon as possible, but it took 10 years. For 10 years, we've been trying to introduce him to a partner or two, but it never got even to the extent that he would look at the potential partner in his life. He would always say, hang on, Dad, I will do it my way. I'm an independent person. I will get somebody myself. As parents, we also wish that he would find a lovely, smart, sensible, reliable and considerate partner. We believe that Heeru has got all these qualities and more. So it was quite a relief for Reena and I this morning that after 3 favors and about 7 vows, that we could safely say it's all done, right? We are thrilled, of course, obviously, as parents, and so happy to get a daughter like Heeru. Welcome, Heeru. Welcome to the family. You know us very briefly. In fact, Heeru, between you and me, Heeru only knows me for 3 days. The first time I met Heeru was 3 days ago. But I tell you, Heeru, it won't be long before you'll be aspiring to get to Melbourne for a life together with the Melbournians. And you can be sure that from here on, you're going to be an Aussie. Sanjay? That's just the opening of what the Aussies are, but I know that in about 12 months' time when you're in Australia and Melbourne, you'll be just like one of them. So Rajesh, now that you're married, I do have to give you a bit of advice, and I think I'm quite qualified to do that, being married for 42 years. I've learned it through my experience, and you listen to me very well, right? Firstly, take note that a woman needs to be loved, not necessarily understood. In other words, knowing you need not be too logical with Heeru. Otherwise you lose out. Watch out. Secondly, a woman likes silent men because they think you're listening. So don't answer back in argument. Besides, you'll never ever win. I know, Rajesh, your grandma loved you so much, and I know how much you cared for her. She's not here in person. She departed 11 months today, and I'm sure she's showering a lot of blessings on you up above. Heeru, I showed her your photograph with Rajesh a few days before she departed. She just had 3 words for me and I, and she said, for people who know Sindhi, Suti Chokriya. It means, for others who don't know Sindhi, that she's a lovely girl. Reena and I wish you both, on behalf of all here, every success in your path ahead, and we are sure that with a little bit of give and take on both sides, you'll have a long and very happy marriage. I've thanked so many people, but I can't go away without thanking Prem and Nisha for all that has happened in the last 3 days. They've really been great. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, Nisha and Prem, for such a lovely job. Now, friends and relatives, I've come to the end of the speech that I'm going to say. I was going to make it short and sweet. I hope I've done that. I wish to propose a second toast. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses. Please be upstanding if you can. In wishing the couple every happiness for the future. What I want to say is that, like the circles, Rajesh and Heeru, like the circles on your wedding rings, may your joy never end, and you'll be blessed with pitter patter of little feet. Not a distant future. Heeru and Rajesh, please bring your glass up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Prem and Ms. Nisha Kishnani to express their emotions and feelings towards lovely wedded couple. Dad, Prem, Nisha Kishnani.
Good evening. My wife and I are honored to spend this auspicious occasion with all of you, our loving family and friends. This union of two families is a unique event and a very special one. Words cannot express our joy and happiness for this blessing. We would first like to give thanks to Kishore and Reena Malwani. Thank you for welcoming our daughter into your family and for raising such a wonderful son. Rajesh's warm heart, kindness, and diligence reflect who you are and the values you have instilled in him. We would also like to thank all of our family and extended family for helping to raise such a wonderful daughter. The advice and support you have given Heeru throughout the course of her life have made her the woman she is today, beautiful, strong, and determined. We would like to extend our appreciation and thanks to all the family and friends that have traveled across the seas to attend this blessed union. We all live such busy lives, and amidst the threat of a shutdown of the city, we sincerely appreciate the presence here this evening to celebrate the union of Heeru and Rajesh with us. Lastly, we would like to thank all those who have helped in making the organization of all the events over the last few days. Seeing the smile on Heeru's face the last 2 nights and today, and hearing the excitement in her voice reminded me of the day when she told us about Rajesh. I remember when Heeru told us about meeting a handsome, well-hearted and sophisticated Sindhi Aussie. My wife and I were speechless. By the time she had finished telling us how they had met and the connection, we knew that Heeru had found her Raj, someone she has been in search for a long time. A father knows when his daughter has found true happiness. We are very grateful that her search for a soulmate has now ended and she can embark on the next chapter in life with Rajesh. Finally, a small piece of advice for the new couple. Throughout our lives, we experience joys as well as obstacles. When we are young, we often take on these challenges and try to solve them on our own. We can be overwhelmed and frustrated and angry in trying to solve these issues. Your marriage is a wonderful blessing, and your future will be full of joyous moments. However, many of us face new challenges, and we have to face our challenges. We have to work together with our problems, and we must always remember to work together always. Always foster your relationships, your friendship, and your respect for each other. As a couple, you can build a bridge that will raise you over your problems and will come your way and pave the way for a happy and successful marriage. Heeru and Raj, be good to each other and remember never to give up on each other. We love you both and look forward to sharing your stories as your life evolves together. We knew that you have a long and happy life. God bless you both. And we'd like to at the same time thank once again Kishore and Reena for accepting Heeru in their family and all the Aussies here today who have been so wonderful. And I'm sure we have enjoyed every moment since we ever met you. I think the first time we saw you and today we have been so happy, and you're great, and God bless you.
Thank you for those lovely speeches. I now would like to call upon Rajesh's friends to say a few words. Christina, Rohit and Jerome.